So once again, good morning everyone. I am back with lecture number 13 of machine learning today. And in today's lecture, we are going to see what is logistic regression. We have already seen what exactly is regression part, but today this is one of the types of regression that we are going to cover up, right? Now, for the objectives of this lecture today is of understanding what exactly is logistic regression, how it is different from linear regression, and why should we use this logistic regression? What are the practical application area? What are the types of logistic regression, and how it is applied? So these all are today's objective of this lecture. Now, let us, without wasting any time, continue with the lecture part. Now, as a machine learning student, you must familiarize yourself with a variety of different algorithms. Now, one of the very popular algorithm that continues to fascinate very many people is this logistic regression, where logistic regression is a supervised learning classifier. Although this logistic regression is used in traditional statistics, its application is in machine learning classification remain very fascinating. Okay. Now, before diving right into logistic regression, it is important to have basic understanding of linear regression, because until you know what is linear regression, what is the plot of linear regression, you won't be able to understand this logistic regression. So, see, the linear regression, it can be really useful when you are trying to predict a continuous output value from a linear relationship. But a logistic regression output values lies between 0 and 1, which is basically a probability. So, an output continuous value not in the range between 0 and 1 does not work with logistic regression. Now, let us assume a figure of linear regression where there's a plot between x and y, axis. There's x-axis, there's y-axis, and in between we have plotted a single straight line. Let's say it is of red color, and there are some points which are surrounding this line. They are of blue color, right? Now, this is a linear regression model where the blue points that I'm telling you to assume, these blue points are our data points, and the red line is actually our model. Okay, so linear regression, it uses statistical measures like R square and p value to understand the model performance and variables training variables training the model, right? Now, if we talk about R square, basically this R square is used to indicate if there is a correlation between the dependent variable and a particular independent variable, right? Now, in other words, does the independent variable help determine the dependent variable? Now, when we talk about p-value, it is actually used to determine if R square is statistically significant or not. And lastly, you should know that the cost function of this linear regression is nothing but the mean squared error. So now we come up to logistic regression, where we are going to understand that how logistic regression works. So, logistic regression works is that it predicts the probability of your sample belonging to one classification versus another. Although, it can be used for multi-variable classification, it is a great tool to use for binary classification problems because it operates on probability. The output value in logistic regression is a numbered classification, but before the classification is given, the actual output is a numerical probability in the range of 0 to 1. Based on this probability, a classification of 1 or 0 will be given. Now, the algorithm essentially, rounds the value to give a classification. 0 being your negative class and 1 being your positive class. Now, actually, what are the some common logistic regression problem where we apply this logistic regression? So see, there are lots of classification and probabilistic problems the data scientists today are using. So let's say, for example, the lung cancer detection or the lung cancer risk or the classification based on the given habits. Similarly, probability of getting approved for a loan given financial information. Similarly, a problem can be of finding out the development of obesity in a patient based on his daily habits and dietary choices. And there could be one problem we have seen earlier also, that there could be a problem where we are finding out the probability of an email being classified as a spam or not. So, these are some of the situations or the problem scenarios where logistic regression can work out. And now you observe one thing. If you have observed whatever four examples I've given to you, the common application of logistic regression, if you observe the examples, you'll understand one thing, that in all the in all the problem statements, we had two choices, either this and that. Like for example, lung cancer detection. Now, in such case, what we are doing is either the person is having lung cancer or not. So, two choices are there. Similarly, probability of getting a loan approved. Again, two choices, whether your loan is getting approved or it is not getting approved. Similarly, probability of developing obesity. Either you are developing obesity or you are not developing it. Again, two choices. And finally, I've given you one example of email filtering, like if email is spam or it is not spam. So, in all the situations, if you observe, what common observation comes out is that we are having only two points, only two choices out of which we need to classify either this or that. So most probably the logistic regression is commonly applied on binary kind of things, like binary classification where we have two choices and we need to select out of them. Right. So here, first of all, if we have already seen that it is a form of regression that allows the prediction of discrete variables by a mix of continuous and discrete predictors. I'm going to explain it to you in very detail, right? And now, if we come to the types of logistic regression, here are the two types where we can apply this logistic regression. One is the binary logistic regression, which is, it is used when the dependent variable is dichotomous. There are two only variables are there, and there could be a scenario where multiple or multinomial logistic regression is applied, where it uses dependent or outcome variables which are more than two in category. So these are the two types where we can apply logistic regression. But let me tell you, the logistic regression is very popular among binary type of classifications where you have only two choices, right? So now, if I conclude further, let's move further. Logistic regression, as I've told you, it is one of the most common and useful classification algorithm in machine learning. Now, if you wish to become a better machine learning practitioner, you'll definitely want to familiarize yourself with this logistic regression. Now, let's take some time to understand how logistic regression functions and situations where it should be utilized. So, coming over to the definition part of this logistic regression, it is actually a type of classification algorithm. Yet, what does exactly this classification mean? We have seen already classification, but still understand it, in the perspective of this logistic regression. See, as a machine learning practitioner, you'll need to know the difference between regression and classification tasks, as well as the algorithms that should be used for both of them. Okay. Now, classification and regression tasks are both types of supervised learning, but the output variables of the two tasks are very different. In a regression task, the output variable is a numerical value that exists on a continuous scale, right? Or to put that another way, the output of a regression task is an integer or a floating point. It always predicts a value, it always gives you a value, right? So you'll always get an integer value or some kind of a decimal point value or a floating point value. But in contrast, in classification tasks, the outputs of an algorithm fall into one of the various pre-chosen class or categories. Now, the classification model attempts to predict the output value when given several input variables, placing the example into the correct category. Now, let's look at an example of classification task and regression task to make sure that the difference is clear to all of you. Right? Now, let's say, take one example where you have a data set full of details about different houses. Okay. And you want to predict the price the house will sell for. So, you want to just predict the price at what rate it will be sold out. Okay. Now, in a regression task, the model takes in the features like the number of rooms, the carpet area, the land area, the age of the house. Like these are all the features which the regression will take account of, right? And on the basis of these features, it will try to predict a numerical value. What value? The price of the house. So it will be somewhat like, okay, the four rooms are there and the land area is, let's say, 500 square meters. And let's say the age of the house is just 2 years. So in that case, the price could be predicted like, okay, it will be of 1 crore or something. So this is the exact figure that we are getting out of regression. Mathematically, if we say, let's take the features to be x1, x2, xn, like this, right? And being the features and y being the price. So here, what we are assuming is x1 to xn are the feature variables like rooms, carpet area, and like that. So we are taking this vector as x1 to xn, and y is a variable which is predicting the exact figure, like y being the price here, right? Now let's assume a hypothesis function 0 such that y is equals to 0 into x1, x2, xn, like that. So the regression model will try to draw a specific line that best fit to the data set. But on the contrary to this, in a classification task, the outputs would fall into one of a fewer different categories. As I told you, that classification simply means that you are classifying your input data into some different classes. So for that, your classes should be predefined. There should be some classes that you have already created. You have trained your machine on those classes. So in classification, you just can't give an output which is a numerical value. you always need to bifurcate your data into some different class categories. This is what it is doing. So even in this situation, the problem that we are seeing of predicting the values or the price of the house, what we can do, we cannot just find out a specific price. We need to classify the houses into some different classes. Like, say for example, you have five different categories for the price. One, much lower than expected price. Second could be lower than expected price. Then third class category could be approximately expected size. Fourth could be higher than expected price, and fifth could be much higher than expected price. So these are the different classes. And once you'll get a single input data for a single house, you are going to classify that house into out of these one of these five categories. You need to categorize them, right? Now, a classification algorithm would label the example with one of these chosen categories. So this is the basic difference between regression and a classification techniques. Now, as I've told you that logistic regression is, it is a classification algorithm. It is used when the value of the target variable is categorical in nature, right? Now, logistic regression is most commonly used when the data is in the question has kind of binary output. I told you this thing, it is always applied on a binary classification where you always have two choices, one or two. So out of them, you need to select one. So, when it belongs to one class or another, or, either it could be zero or one. Remember that classification tasks have discrete sort of categories, unlike this regression task. Here, by the idea of using a regression model to solve the classification problem, we rationally raise a question of whether we can draw a hypothesis function to fit to the binary data set. So what we can do here is, we can have different form of linear function to be applied in logistic function. One of them is a sigmoid function. So logistic regression here, if we talk about, it is in fact a classification algorithm, not a regression algorithm. So, this can be confusing at first, but just try to remember this thing that logistic regression is a classification algorithm, not a regression algorithm. No. Now, as I told you, this logistic regression is using a sigmoid function. So, let's understand what exactly is a sigmoid function. See, the sigmoid function or the logistic function is a function that resembles a S-shaped. It is of the shape S, right? S-shaped curve it has got when plotted on a graph. It takes values between 0 and 1 and it squishes them towards the margins at the top and the bottom, labeling them as either 0 or 1. So the equation for the sigmoid function is y is equals to 1 divided by 1 plus e to the power minus x. What is the formula? Y is equals to 1 divided by 1 plus e to the power minus x. Now, what is the variable e in this instance? Now, the e here represents the exponential function or the exponential constant, and it has a value of approximately 2.71 like that. So this is the function that we are going to use in logistic regression. Now, how logistic regression is used? See, it is important to understand that logistic regression should only be used when the target variables fall into discrete categories, and that if there is a range of continuous values, the target value might be logistic regression should not be used. Example of such situations who might use logistic regression include, I have told you that predicting if an email is spam or not, whether a tumor is malignant or benign, whether a mushroom is poisonous or it is edible. So, when using logistic regression, a threshold is usually specifies that indicates at what value the example will be put into one class versus the another class. Now, see, in the spam classification task, a threshold of zero point 0.5 might be set, which would cause an email with a 50% or greater probability of being spam to be classified as a spam. And any email with probability less than 50% classified as not spam. Although this logistic regression is best suited for instances of binary classification, it can be applied to multi-class classification problems. Now, classification tasks with three or more classes are called the multi-class classification problem. Now, see, let's say you have three different classes that instances in your data set could fall into. And if you had these three classes, you could treat them as three different binary classification problems. For instance, say you would train a classifier on just the examples belonging to class A versus all the examples belonging to other class. Now, you would then do the same thing for class B and finally for class C. After the classifiers have learned to distinguish their chosen class from the other classes, you just run the three classifiers on the inputs, and whichever classifier is most confident it has chosen the correct class for that example. That is what class you put the example in. Right. Now, test case in applying logistic regression, how you're going to apply the test case. So one of the best ways to learn something is to see a real life example. So take a look at an implementation of logistic regression on a real world data set. A good data set to practice with is the breast cancer Wisconsin data set. The data set here, or this particular breast cancer data set, is split into 569 instances, the inputs or the examples, with 32 different features. Now, the goal of this classification with the data set is to predict whether or not a tumor is likely cancerous or benign. And since there are only two categories, this makes the classification task perfect for logistic regression. Now, we are going to be using the breast cancer Wisconsin data set because there is very little pre-processing of data needed. Typically, when you get a data set, you need to pre-process it to make it fit for machine learning algorithm. So here, because it is having very less, pre-processing requirements, that is why this data can be chosen for the logistic regression. Even you can try it out in Python, and you can apply this logistic regression, where you have to use, scikit-learn, which is a machine learning library for Python. And you can use Pandas library to load in the CSV and NumPy to convert the data frame into arrays of logistic regression. So as I told you, for this data, you don't need to have a lot of pre-processing. But one thing you may want to do is to drop the column in the data set which contains, a bunch of unknown values. Now, after doing this, what do? You need to split the data frame into training and testing sections. It is important not to test on the same data you are training on. There should be a difference. So you can divide your, whole data into training set and the test set. Why? Because this is, extreme bias and it won't accurately reflect what the classifier has managed to learn. Then what you can do is you can use the train test split function in scikit-learn to split the data. And you specify what percentage of data you would like to set aside for testing. Percentage has to be defined, like you want to have 60% as a training and 40% as testing data, or you want to have 70% training and 30% as your testing data. That is all upon you. You need to decide it. You need to give the percentage of it, right? Now, one thing you may want to do here is rescale the features and inputs. Now, rescaling data brings values that may have extremely different range or units into alignment with one another, right? Now, bringing all the measurements into a similar scale helps the performance of the classifier for a comparison uh, sort of thing, right? And we can accomplish this with the standard scaler from the scikit-learn. You can do that with the scikit-learn. Now, once you have prepared the data, you can feed into the logistic regression classifier. So first, you will import the logistic regression algorithm from the scikit-learn, and then you will create an instance of the classifier and fit it into the training data. You will now create the predictions by running the classifier on the test data set. And finally, once you have applied this, you have to check to see that how the classifier has performed by importing some matrices and checking the predicted values against the actual values. So here at this point, your first logistic regression or classifier in scikit-learn will get completed. Okay, so when we are, we can just conclude here is that logistic regression is, it is a powerful machine learning algorithm that utilizes a sigmoid function, and it works best on binary classification problems. Although it can be used on multi-class classification problems as well through the one versus all method. Now, logistic regression, despite its name, is not fit for the regression task. As I told you, it is considered to be a classification algorithm rather than a regression algorithm. Now, in order to take your understanding of logistic regression further, it would be a good idea to try and apply it to other data sets to see what kind of classification problems it performs well at. So you may also wish to continue, reading about the probability theory behind this algorithm. So this can be done using various journals or research journals that are present online. So at the end, I think after covering up this particular lecture, you are able to know that the many names and terms used when describing logistic regression, like what is sigmoid function, what is classification, what is regression, and how you can represent logistic regression model. What all are the techniques which can be used to learn the coefficient of a logistic regression model from the data? So all these things, can be used. Now, understanding the expression for binary logistic regression. Here it is given by y is equals to b naught plus b1 x1 plus b2 x2 plus like this till bn xn. So here y, because we are seeing binary logistic regression, we'll have only two choices. So y here is binary in nature and it is a dependent variable, whereas b or the beta is a constant and beta 1 is a coefficient of variable x1. Similarly, beta 2 will be the coefficient of variable x2, and x1 is independent variable. They are the features on the basis of which we are going to predict the thing, and e is considered to be the error term. So when and why binary logistic regression should be used? See, when the dependent variable is non-parametric and we don't have homoscedasticity, variance of DB and IB not equal, right? Only in that case we can use. Similarly, we can use it when the dependent variable has only two levels. Yes, no, male, female, obviously the binary part where you have only two choices. Then, if you have multivariate normality, which is suspected. And if you don't have any linearity, only in these cases you can apply this binary logistic regression. So, binary logistic regression can be used in following such situations where a catalog company wants to increase the proportion of mailings that results in sale. Similarly, a doctor wants to, accurately diagnose a presence of, malignant cancer inside a body, or a loan officer, as I told you, wants to, approve or disapprove the loan. Now, using the binary logistic regression procedure, the catalog company can send mailings to the people who are most likely to respond, and the doctor can determine whether the tumor is more likely to benign or malignant, and the loan officer can, assess the risk of extending credit to a particular customer. So these are some of the situations where we can use this logistic regression. So now the question comes that if you want to apply logistic regression, what should be the sample size? So see, very small samples have very many sampling errors, and if you have a large sample size, it decreases the chance of error. So it is preferable that you should have comparatively large sample of data. So logistic requires large sample size, then multiple regression. So the recommended sample size for each group is at least 10 observations per estimated parameter. So how can we learn the logistic regression model? See, the coefficients, like the beta values of the logistic regression algorithm, must be estimated from your training data. Now, this is done using maximum likelihood estimation, which is a common learning algorithm used by a variety of machine learning algorithms. Although it does make assumptions about the distribution of your data, more on this when we talk about preparing on the data, right? Now, the best coefficients would result in a model that would predict a value very close to one. Example, like if we are defining whether a person is a male or a female. So, for the default class and value which is closer to zero, or for the other class. So, the intuition for maximum likelihood for logistic regression is that a search procedure seeks values for the coefficients that minimize the error in the probabilities predicted by the model to those in the data. So we are not going into the math of maximum likelihood. It is enough to say that a minimization algorithm is used to optimize the best values for the coefficients for your training data. Now, this is often implemented in practice using efficient numerical optimization algorithm like the one, let's say the name was quasi-Newton method. So, when you are learning logistic, you can implement it yourself from scratch using the much simpler gradient descent algorithm. So now I'm going to share you. We are done with the logistic regression today, And in today's lecture, we have seen what exactly is logistic regression, how it is different from classification, how can you make predictions with logistic regression, and what are the features, benefits, and what are the real-time applications of this logistic regression. Now, with this, I'm coming over to the end of this lecture, and I hope you all have learned what exactly is logistic regression. But let me tell you how will you prepare the data for logistic regression. Before ending up this lecture, I want to continue with this, that how you're going to prepare the data for logistic regression. So the assumptions made by the logistic regression about the distribution and relationships in your data are, the much the same as the assumptions made in the linear regression. Much study has gone into defining these assumptions and precise probabilistic and statistical language is used. Now, my advice is to use these as guidelines or rules of thumb and experiment with different data preparation schemes. Ultimately, in predictive modeling machine learning projects, you are laser focused on making accurate predictions rather than interpreting the results. As such, you can break some assumptions as long as the model is robust and it performs well. Now, binary output variable here, this might be obvious as we have already mentioned it, but logistic regression is intended for binary classification problems. It will predict the probability of an instance belonging to the default class, which can be snapped into a 0 or 1 classification. Secondly, what you need to do is you need to remove the noise. Logistic regression assumes no error in the output variable. So consider removing outliers and possibly misclassified instances from your training data. Then you need to have Gaussian distribution. See, logistic regression is a linear algorithm with a non-linear transform on output. It does assume a linear relationship between the input variables with the output. Now, data transforms of your input variables that better expose this linear relationship can result in a more accurate model. For example, you can use log, root, and other univariate transforms to better expose this relationship. Then you should, remove correlated inputs like linear regression. The model can overfit if you have, multiple highly correlated inputs. Now consider calculating the pairwise correlations between all inputs and removing highly correlated inputs. Now, it is possible for the expected likelihood estimation process that learns the coefficients to fail to converge. Now, this can happen if there are many highly correlated inputs in your data, or the data is very sparse. Like example, lots of zeros in your input data. So I would suggest you that you should go for logistic regression. Just take on some data set or sample set on which you can apply training testing, and you can apply using Scikit. You can apply this logistic regression and try to find out the answer by yourself at how efficient this machine learning is turning out. So I hope this one is very clear to you. And if you find any kind of problem, you can just type your question in the comment section, and I will try my best to answer all these questions for you. So now I'm quickly taking you over to the part of MCQs where for today's learning you are going to question the things. So let me just share it with you. So here are the questions. This is question number 1. Quickly try to answer. Question number 1 and question number 2. The first question says, is logistic regression a supervised machine learning algorithm? And question number two says, is logistic regression mainly used for regression? So please try to answer fast. So now let me take you to the next set of questions. Question number three and question number four. Is it possible to design a logistic regression algorithm using a neural network algorithm? And the question number four says, is it possible to apply a logistic regression algorithm on a three-class classification problem? So I think we have already covered up these topics, so you might be able to answer it correctly. Try to do it fast. Now let me take you to question number five and question number six. Now let me take you to the next set of questions. Question number seven and question number eight. So question number seven says, one of the very good methods to analyze the performance of logistic regression in AI is AIC, which is similar to R squared in linear regression. Which of the following is true about AIC? And question number eight says, standardization of features is required before training a logistic regression. So is it true or is it false? Quickly try to answer. Now let me take you to the last two questions of the set. Now, which of the following algorithms do we use for variable selection? Is it lasso, ridge, both, or none of these? And finally, question number 10 says, what would be the range of P in such case? Is it 0 or infinite, or from minus infinity to 0? Is it from 0 to 1, or is it from minus infinity to infinity? So I hope you were able to answer all these questions. As we have already done logistic regression, we have seen very many concepts related to it. So I think this lecture has given you knowledge of what exactly is logistic regression, and I hope this one is very clear to you. In case of any queries you have, please just comment in the or just give your question in the comment section so that I can answer it with my best. So thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Keep learning and keep watching. Thanks.